Hey guys, this is Cooking with Kurt, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Yema salted caramel cake. It's a white chiffon cake with Yema caramel frosting and filling, finished with toasted cashews, just like the Red Ribbon design. This recipe was requested by Jennifer Ariane Italia, Caroline Fernandez, Donna Aquina, and Sherwin Ivy Villanueva Abalos. A big shout out to all of you. I hope you like this video. To start, preheat your oven to 340 degrees Fahrenheit and take two 9-inch round cake pans and line them with parchment paper. Then soak 2 cake strips in water, squeeze off excess water, and place the cake strips around the cake pans. If you don't have cake strips, you can watch my ube overload cake video starting at the 22-second mark for how to make your own cake strips using just paper towels and aluminum foil. Then, in a non-reactive bowl like glass or stainless steel, sift in 2 1/4 cups of cake flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Then add in 8 egg yolks, half a cup of vegetable oil, 3/4 cup of whole milk, 1 teaspoon of finely grated lemon zest, 1 teaspoon of finely grated orange zest, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix this together with an electric mixer until they are just combined and smooth. Now, like with all chiffon cakes, we're going to make a meringue mixture. In a separate stainless steel or glass bowl, beat together 8 egg whites and 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar using an electric beater on high speed. Slowly add in 3/4 cup of sugar and continue beating this mixture until you start to see stiff, glossy peaks forming like this. Then we're going to gently fold in our meringue mixture into the cake mixture, about 1/3 of the meringue at a time, until they are completely combined. Be sure to fold it in slowly and gently so we don't knock out any of that air that we've beaten into the meringue. Then divide this batter equally into the 2 round cake pans we had prepared earlier. We're going to let these bake in our preheated oven at 340 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 to 45 minutes, or till it's light golden brown. The cakes spring back when touched lightly at the center, and the toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. So when you see that the cakes are done, what we're going to do is take a wire rack and invert the pans onto the rack while the cakes are still in the pan and let them cool for 5 minutes. Once they've cooled for a bit, it should be pretty easy to lift the pans off and release the cakes onto the wire rack. Peel off the parchment paper and let the cakes cool completely. While the cakes are cooling, we can work on the Yema caramel frosting. In a mixing bowl, add 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk, 1 cup of whole milk, and 4 egg yolks. Whisk this together till it's well combined and smooth, and set this aside at room temperature. Take a thick bottom saucepan or Dutch oven over medium heat and add half a cup of granulated sugar. Shake it to make an even layer of sugar. Let it melt and caramelize. You can gently push the sugar that's not melted into the sugar that is melted using a long wooden spoon, but do not mix the sugar vigorously. Once all the sugar is melted, continue heating this until it turns into an even golden brown color, like this. Then pour in 1/4 of the milk egg yolk mixture, stirring constantly with a wooden spoon. Once this initial mixture is combined, slowly add in the remaining egg milk mixture and stir until it is smooth. Clip on a candy thermometer and continue cooking, stirring occasionally. This should take about 10 to 12 minutes, or longer, depending on how high your heat is. When you see that it's a nice golden caramel color with a nice thick texture, turn off the heat, add 2 sticks of cold butter, and mix it in till it's well blended. Let this rest, stirring occasionally until the temperature drops to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That should take about 1 hour. So while we're waiting for the Yema caramel mixture to cool down, we can work on the whipped cream topping. Take a mixing bowl and add 4 ounces of cream cheese, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix this together on medium speed until it's smooth. While the mixture is still whipping, slowly pour in 1 cup of very cold heavy cream and continue whipping this till the whipped cream can hold stiff peaks, like this. Leave this in the fridge till you're ready to use it. Next, we're going to prepare the cashews. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and take about 2 cups of unsalted cashews, spread them onto a baking sheet, and roast them in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes until they are golden brown. When they've cooled for a bit, pulse them a couple of times in the food processor. Set this aside. By now the cake layer should have cooled to room temperature. Take a serrated knife and cut each cake in half horizontally, like this, so we end up with 4 cake halves. Set these aside till we're ready to assemble the cake. Turning our attention back to the Yema caramel frosting, when the candy thermometer reads 110 degrees Fahrenheit, transfer the Yema caramel mixture to a mixing bowl. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and beat it on medium speed for 20 minutes till it has a spreadable consistency, like this. This is a crucial step to create that Yema caramel custard texture to use as the cake filling and frosting. Now while your frosting is still a little bit warm, we're going to assemble the cake. Take your cake stand and place the first cake layer cut side up. Then spread half a cup of the caramel frosting onto the first layer until it's even. Place the second layer of cake, cut side down. Spread another half cup of caramel frosting on top. Do the same thing with the third layer, cut side up. Spread another half cup of frosting on top. And finally, top the cake with the last layer, cut side down, so the top is as flat as possible. Then spread frosting on top and on the sides of the cake, like this. I'm not using a Lazy Susan, so I'm just rotating the cake stand to smooth out the sides, and then flatten out the top. Make sure you save enough of the caramel frosting to make the big rosette on top of the cake. But before we get to the cake topping, press the prepared toasted cashew pieces about halfway up the sides of the cake, like this. Clean up the excess cashews afterwards, and wipe down the sides of the cake stand. Next, put the whipped cream frosting in a piping bag with a large round tip attached, and pipe out 16 big dollops of the whipped cream frosting around 2 inches away from the edge of the cake. To make them as evenly spread out as possible, I do 4 dollops at 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. Then I fill in 3 dollops in between, like this. Try to make each dollop the same size as much as possible. Then take a small spoon and just press it straight into the dollop to get an indentation. Then pull the frosting towards the center of the cake, creating a ridge effect. And as best as you can, try to create the same indentation and ridge size. When you've made your 16 petals with the whipped cream frosting, clean your piping bag and fill it with the remaining Yema caramel frosting and create a giant rosette in the center of the flower, like this. And it's convenient because it covers up any differences at the base of the petals. Let this cake rest in the fridge overnight to set, and then take it out of the fridge about 20 to 30 minutes before serving. And there it is. Red Ribbon style Yema salted caramel cake. Ang sarap! This moist chiffon cake is infused with delicious Yema salted caramel and a slight crunchy texture from the toasted cashews. So good. Please let me know in the comment section below if you're planning to make this Yema salted caramel cake. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Cooking with Kurt. Maraming salamat!